Hi, this is Andy Goodman with Recruiting and Coaching Solutions powered by Leaders Edge Training. And today I'm talking to my recruiting friends out there. And I want to cover something that comes up a lot in my consulting conversations with my clients throughout the United States and Canada. And that is whether or not it makes sense to hire a company to make recruiting calls for you. In other words, there's lots of companies, and I see more and more popping up all the time, that offer to make phone calls, and some companies even say you don't pay us unless we get results. I'm a little skeptical because I've been down that road, but the bottom line is these companies advertise that they'll put VAs on a script and you turn them loose on your market and they'll set appointments for you. As a former industry executive for a major company, my job was hiring team leaders and managers who would recruit for me, and I found myself running into a problem getting results at various times based on the people that I had in the role. So I went down the path of exploring these VAs and hiring several of them, and found that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze in a lot of regards. In other words, we just didn't get the results that we wanted. And it was because that when you're calling somebody on a script, you're pretty limited, and we found that out really quickly. Matter of fact, the script could only get you as far as the amount of numbers you're going to call, and with the hope that you intersect with an agent that's either looking at making a move or completely upset at their company in that moment. So that takes a lot of phone calls on a daily basis. And we have found that it just didn't yield the kind of results that we wanted to, because a lot of times we get the appointments, but then they would cancel. So we found that we had to get the recruiter involved really early on in the process anyway. And the bottom line is that the reason that a skilled recruiter can get so much more traction is that they have the ability to pivot off script and to convert that way. And that's what the real valuable skill is. You have to understand that it's not about covering as much ground as possible. It's about developing the person that does the role. And if you find somebody that excels in the role, they have the right DISC profile, they're incentivized well, they care about growth, they're passionate about building the company, then that's a very teachable, coachable person that could make more money for you based on their skill set. I wrote the ultimate playbook for recruiting and retaining real estate agents largely in response to my frustration with trying to find leverage for my leadership who was recruiting for me. And what I realized that the path to success was really developing that individual, and we made a ton more money doing it that way. We had a lot more certainty. If you're convinced that hiring another company is going to be the path to success for your company, I would never talk you out of it. What I would do is I would coach you, or at least give you some advice on how to manage that. When we did it and we had some level of results, we provided the database to the recruiters. We gave them intel on who they were calling. We role-played the scripts they were using. We quality controlled the results. And we stayed very interconnected in the process versus just letting them run wild with a script and hoping something happens. So we created a little more certainty for ourselves by managing the process. So if that's the road you want to go down, I'd be glad to help you because I want to see you do well. So drop me a line or reach out to me. But if you want to get the best results and the highest return on your investment and avoid spending thousands and thousands of dollars, you can get the playbook, and you can take it one step further and coach with me. And my affordable coaching works with the playbook, with the recruiter, and helps set appointments as well as convert appointments. And when I walk away from the process, you will have your own turnkey process that will become more downhill for you as time goes on. You'll have a full system set up, and you can take it as far as you wanted and build a massively powerful company and profitable company. That's my tip for today. Don't forget to reach out if you need some clarity on anything, and I'll see you next week.